My name is Eric Jackson. I'm president of Jackson Kayak, and we make fishing kayaks. I get a lot of questions about fishing kayaks. A lot of people that fish out of big boats or bank fish, and they see kayaks on the water, but they don't really know how to get started or what to look for in a boat. It's important to know that all boats are not created equal. Most of the boats you get at a relatively low cost you might find in a box store. They can be a challenge if you are a larger person, for sure. It can make your kayaking experience not very pleasant. Most kayaks are pretty narrow. You need a stable platform if you're going to fish out of a kayak, and especially if you're a bigger guy, you need a particularly stable platform. And that's one of the things that we've done at Jackson Kayak to make fishing kayaks accessible for everybody, so anybody can get in and do it for the first time and like it. Even, I don't know if you've seen Charlie Ingram, big guy, almost 300 pounds, 60-some years old, no problem, in the right kayak. All right, so this is a Coosa HD. This is a perfect fishing platform for me. It's easy to accessorize, but it's ready to go and simple right out of the gate. I've got place for everything, tackle under the seat, in the seat pockets, place to load up my electronics, my Raymarine Dragonfly on the gear tracks right in front of me. Even the Power Pole Micros, plug and play. Screw it in and off you go. So you can accessorize the boats as much as you want. Two things to know. The inside of the kayak is a total storage area. So you open the hatch, you've got several options here. Option one, throw in all your camping gear, camping supplies for an overnighter. One of the most fun ways to enjoy your kayak. And of course another option is of course your rod storage. You're done with the day, drop your rods in, they're good to go. Don't have to worry about them getting stolen. And yes, in fact, you've got a place for a padlock if you want to lock your boat at nighttime. So let's say you want leader line. I throw braid with leaders a lot. Want leader line? Right here under the console, I've got a spool of 17-pound fluorocarbon. It comes out right here. Now how do you cut this? Well, let's say I'm going to pull out about 5 feet, and right here on my seat, line cutters, yeah, ready to go. The whole idea right here in front of your feet, within your reach, everything you need for a good day of fishing. But the key factors that make a fishing kayak what it is and make it really fishable is, number one, a high seating position. I'm not sitting down at water level, I'm well above the water, I can see in the water. But better yet, you can stand up in it. Right? The standability, we all know we can cast better, you can set the hook better, you can see into structure better. When you stand in your fishing kayak, now you're really fishing. To stand in a boat, you need a wide, stable boat. If you're a bigger guy, you need a Jackson Kayak Big Rig, 37 inches wide. If you're my size, Coosa HD will do the trick. Let's talk about getting in and out of a kayak. You notice that I paddled up on shore. This is a relatively flat shore. So I'm actually solid on the ground. I can step on either side. The boat can't go anywhere. I can step right out. But it is important, especially when you're getting started in kayak fishing, to get in and out the right. Get your boat sideways to the shore, parallel to the shore like this. This allows you to step. This part of the boat is on solid ground, so you can step on the boat. It's not going to go anywhere. Now when you get in the boat, you're in good position. You can kind of wiggle yourself off. Standing up or sitting down, you can push yourself out of there, and off you go. Now, maneuvering a boat and paddling a kayak, I'll give you just a couple basic strokes. The most obvious is the forward stroke to make you go forward. Most people, when they get a kayak, their paddle's really low, and you see them paddling like this, really short strokes out really far from the boat. With the same amount of energy, you can move the boat a lot faster by putting your paddle in all the way up at your toes and more vertical and pulling back along the kayak. Notice the kayak doesn't yaw back and forth too much, and with very little energy, off and running. At about half speed, half power, you can paddle a kayak faster than the 10 setting on your trolling motor. 10 setting is about 2 miles an hour, 2.6. Check it out. This is 2.6 miles an hour right here. That's 2.6, barely paddling. So yeah, you can go quick. I know this sounds weird, but if you really want to learn to paddle straight, you need to know how to do good turning strokes. Because when your boat starts turning, you need to know how to counteract that. So your two primary turning strokes are your forward sweep. A forward sweep is where you reach your paddle forward past your feet and you push the paddle way out and away in a semicircle around the boat. And that will turn your boat very quickly as well as propel you forwards. Also, you want to look where you're going. That helps the boat turn and see where you're going. Your next is a reverse sweep. A reverse sweep, same idea, but you reach way behind you and you push the paddle out and away from the stern. This will stop you and turn really quick. So if you're paddling forward, and let's say I want to turn to you right now, I'm moseying along, I see something, I want to stop my boat and turn quick, reach back, reach out away from the boat, your boat will stop, boom, you're right where you want to go. Another stroke that's really handy is called a draw stroke. You reach out away from the boat. You don't need to lean, just keep your weight over the boat, reach out away, and you can pull your boat sideways. If you want to get fancy, you can start sculling sideways. This helps for fine positioning. If you're just trying to fine tune, you're flipping or something like that. Standing up and paddling, same thing. Forward sweep, reach out away, turn the boat. Forward stroke, vertical and right next to the boat. When your boat starts turning, switch, go to the other side. If you want to get fancy, hold your paddle with the same hand and just push your paddle to the other side and off you go. It's called an offside stroke. Draw stroke to turn the bow. Forward sweep. Forward stroke. Switch to keep going. Like where you're going. Back sweep. Turn and stop. Time to fish. Whee! Now here's a couple of fishing tips. You do not have to pick up your paddle and put it down all the time. Let's say I've got a square bill on here. Strike King 1.5 KVD. Chili craw, awesome. Caught a fish on it today. Let's say I want to move down the bank and I want to turn the bow towards the bank a little bit. I'll cast down the bank and off to my right, and I'll have my rod up here. And I'll notice by the time I get my crankbait halfway in, my bow is already starting to turn towards the shore. So I picked up a shell, that's a good sign. So I'm actually able to rotate the boat with the lure. Let's say I want to really turn, I want to turn out and head out, cast out that way, and you can rotate the boat. You can also use your rod and your lure like a paddle. So I'm going to turn this way, and off we go. Fishing out of kayak is really easy. Remember, you are kayaking, so learning to kayak is part of the deal. But it's easy to do. You can go out and catch fish on your first time out there and you should feel comfortable right away. So hope to see you out in a Jackson kayak one day and kayak fishing. If you go someplace that you imagine that nobody else can get to, that's probably where you'll find me.